I'm Estrada Bernard. In an upcoming episode, my co-host, Dr. Christopher Gay, and I will discuss how marijuana affects the brain. If you're a young person thinking about trying it for recreational use because it's been legalized in your state, if you're a parent with a young adult child that using it and you'd like to have an informed discussion with them, or you are an older adult who's contemplating using it for medical use, tune into our episode to get the knowledge to help you make the best decisions for yourself. Marijuana or cannabis is approved for recreational and medical use in 24 states and the District of Columbia. In 16 other states, it's approved for medical use only. But at the federal level, it is a Schedule I substance, just like heroin and cocaine. Schedule I drugs are very restricted in their use. This classification signifies a high potential for abuse, no currently accepted medical use in the USA, and lack of accepted safety of its use even under medical supervision. Here's the thing. Cannabis products are potent substances. Just because some states have approved their use and more people are using them does not mean that it's harmless. Now, there are some very limited but approved medical uses, such as certain types of epilepsy, the severe appetite loss in people with AIDS or HIV disease who are wasting, certain cases of chemotherapy-induced nausea. But these are specific laboratory-made pharmaceutical-grade cannabinoids. Any other medical cannabis use occurs through state-regulated dispensaries rather than FDA-approved pathways. Regardless of what your interests may be, you should be informed about how it works, how it affects your brain, in order to make the best decision for yourself or to make the optimal recommendations for your loved ones. The two most studied products of cannabis are THC, which is the short for delta-9 tetrahydrocannabinol, and CBD, which is short for cannabidiol. It is the THC, though, that attaches to the specific sites on the brain to cause the effects that we commonly identify with marijuana, whether it's the intoxicating effect of feeling high or the intense hunger drive, people call them munchies, or behavior changes, or the sense of being so focused that people think that they can be more creative, or the slowing of reaction time. There are 5 specific areas of the brain that are responsible for the manifestations that we see. Number 1 is the prefrontal cortex. I call this the brain CEO. It is responsible for what's called executive function, such as judgment, planning, problem solving, decision making, multitasking. It also regulates self-control, impulse control. Number 2, the hippocampus. I call this the brain GPS. It's responsible for navigating space and, importantly, for forming new memory. Third is the amygdala. This is like the brain alarm regulator. It's responsible for emotional regulation, how we respond to stress, and how we regulate fear and alarm, and whether the flight response is going to be triggered with stress. How anxious we are, how much anxiety we might express in a situation. Next is the cerebellum. I call this the brain stabilizer. The cerebellum is responsible for maintaining balance and coordination. Is basically a movement regulator. Fifth area is the hypothalamus. I call this the master conductor. It controls the master gland, which is the pituitary gland. The pituitary gland modulates controls all of the hormones that are made in your body by your different glands. The hypothalamus is sort of like a thermostat, really. It regulates temperature, it regulates our hunger drive, it regulates thirst, it regulates temperature, it regulates sleep, it regulates our emotion and stress response. So impacting on these areas can cause consumers to feel intoxicated, to feel very hungry, to have short-term memories, to have altered response. In high doses, it can cause people to manifest psychotic reactions, to have paranoia, to have other manifestations of psychosis. So watch out for our episode in which we'll take a closer look so that you can be informed. Better yet, subscribe so that you can be notified when the episode is released. Until then, be informed and make good choices. This is Estrada Bernard with Nervous Breakdown.